This child is fascinated by that green mug. What makes those beautiful colors, she wonders. Can it turn its head? Mind engaged, filled with her very own questions and ideas. This child is engrossed in building. She picks up the blocks, puts them together. Some wobble, some fall. She thinks, adjusts, tries again. Exploring, absorbing everything. These kids are making robots. Intense hands-on focus and fun. The challenge engages them, their minds locked in, learning by doing. Put any child on this track, let that mind engage, and that mind will ignite. Confidence builds, later on doors open, high school, college, jobs, computing, finance, medicine, engineering. Now, consider these children. Their life experience will be completely different. There's a barrier here that they can never cross. The same doors will never open to them. We want to tap into this track for these kids to remove that barrier. Our tool for doing this is computational thinking. This initiative will accelerate computational thinking, or ACT, for the marginalized youth in India. So why computational thinking? Because this is what the world looks like today. Computing has eaten the world, every activity, every corner. Anything still untouched will be swallowed tomorrow. Computational thinking is a mindset for tomorrow's world. To think critically, question, analyze, and creatively solve problems in a world where everything is infused with computation. Accelerated computational thinking will help marginalized youth leap across that barrier into tomorrow. ACT has three main elements. At the top, a guided TinkerLab-like environment for computational thinking. We'll explain that in a minute. It is engaging, fun, a digital playground. It has a low floor, it's very easy to get started. It has no ceiling. There's no limit on how far you can go. You're guided by a superb computational thinking approach with complete curriculum and supporting materials. All of this is designed to become a self-sustaining program where we train, we support, and empower the teachers. Let's start with the top element, the TinkerLab for computational thinking. So what's a TinkerLab? Also known as a makerspace, it's a room for creating things, but it's much more. Let's say you want to make a robot. You walk into a robot TinkerLab, you say hi to the other robot makers, reach into a bin, pick up some wheels, motor, controller, use the 3D printer for your chassis. Those are your tools and your building blocks. You put them together, you explore, reshape your ideas, create. No two TinkerLabs look the same. For computational thinking, one possible TinkerLab might look like this. Over on the left is a palette with tools and building blocks customized to the activity that you're doing. In the middle is a live interactive work surface. You pick up building blocks and they instantly respond to you. This is where your creation takes shape. And on the right is a stage or a screen area. I walk in with my ideas, I look at the tools, I pick up some building blocks. They are live, I start trying them out, and my exploration has begun. So let's jump in and explore some of our TinkerLabs, from quite young to not so young to all grown up. I'm in my first TinkerLab. It looks fun. There's a number line, 0 and 10 marked. I'm currently at 0. The building blocks look simple. I can guess what they do. Then I try them out. Jump forward, back, reset. Makes sense. On to the problem. I have to start at 2 and get to 9. Yay, that worked. I have a repeating 5, so let me try. Yay, that worked as well. I wonder what combine does. Maybe it takes a bunch of smaller steps and makes one giant leap out of them. Great. Maybe I can make my own block, invent my own block, which just directly does +7. It does the same thing. And now what happens if I start at 2 and use my newly invented block? Ah, nice. My next TinkerLab is for creating art. There's a lovely colored pattern made from colored lines. The blue blocks are to move and turn. Green are for colored pens. I try them out. Clear, put the pen down. Okay. Turn, change color, move. Makes sense. To make a square of some size, I'll first put the pen down. Yay, that worked. To make a square function, S is going to be an input or a hole. R is going to be another hole. Except I use these inputs. Now I can try out my new function. Make a square of side 60 and rainbow 10. Yay, that worked. Now I want to make a pattern of squares. So I'm going to make a loop in which I make a square and then I turn just a little bit. Ooh, that's very nice. I wonder what will happen if I let the size of the square change. So that instead of all of them being the same size, the size changes. Wow, that's really nice. Next, I step into a TinkerLab for data science. There's a cute elephant seal and a table of data. This is what I'm going to do. Import and open the data science lab. There seem to be many different seals tracked over many days, their positions, their distance and speed. The curviness column here represents how much the seal is twisting and turning in the water. There's latitude and longitude, so let me try a map. I can see that much better. I still can't tell the seals apart, and I can't tell in what direction they're going. Let me try a graph. I'll track their longitude, that's their east-west movement. Oh, okay, that's useful. Let me take the animals apart, and I can see 4 different seals here. Each seal is colored differently. There's one of the seals shown on the graph. The same seal is shown on the map over here. What's going on with their speeds as they travel? Make another graph. There's one seal. It goes out fast, and then it spends a lot of time around here, not covering as much ground, and then it comes back fast. Finally, let me take a look at one more graph. How much are the seals twisting and turning in the water? Because that indicates if they are feeding. Ooh. So in the beginning section, the seals are really not doing much twisting and turning. Then here they seem to start hunting. And then they come back without very much twisting and turning. My conclusion is there are 4 seals. They're doing a round trip from land out into the ocean. They're going to hunt. Their feeding area is in this part over here. They slow down over here and they spend more time in feeding, and then they come back to land. I'm in high school now. I've played with numbers, pictures, graphs, music, math, and science. I stepped into one more TinkerLab. I noticed the stage. Is that cloud the internet? The palette has a new network tab. I check this one. AI, climate data, Google Maps, COVID data. Wow, the whole cloud world. So I explore some more. I can get the COVID cases from my home state. There's a table, fresh data all the way to yesterday. I can take that table, make it into a graph, and put it on my stage. Just like that. I can make a map of my hometown using Google Maps. Finally, I can make a mobile COVID app. So a user asks for COVID data and gets the graph for his location. On the right side here, you see my cell phone screen. I can connect to it. I can put a button on it. When pressed, that button will send me a request. And when I get that request, I will generate the graph for the phone's location and send that graph to the user. I can also put a placeholder for the display, for the image to be displayed. Let's run this. On the right, my phone screen now has an app running on it. I go to the phone, I push that button. Just like that. So if I'm a student, what is the ACT program to me? First of all, it ignites my mind. It sparks curiosity and an appetite to learn and know more, driven by my very own questions. It's so easy to get started, such a low floor, instantly interactive and engaging. At the same time, there are no ceilings, no walls, really no limits in what I can imagine, invent, and create. Which then teaches me perseverance. As I create more, I find more challenge. It's on me to figure out and to make it work. Altogether, I am empowered because I do it myself. I am confident against challenges because I've done it. I'm proud of what I have created. If I'm a teacher, ACT empowers me. They train me with workshops, they provide curriculum and learning materials, but they also give me ownership. The curriculum is mine. They will support me to adapt, localize, customize it. They enable me to even better help the marginalized. Because of the easy start, they can catch up and eventually leapfrog their peers. In the ACT program, I'm less of a lecturer and more of a guide, and I help the students to explore and discover before I give them any theory. And if I'm a school principal, ACT and I are like-minded. We both focus squarely on the marginalized. ACT gives me a superb program to develop strong computational thinking skills in all of my students, which allows them to raise their sights to the top careers, top colleges, starting well ahead of their peers. Because the program is self-sustaining, we and our teachers own the entire program and all the materials. The platform itself seems very solid. Open source tools with large community support. And the total cost to me? Approximately $0. And finally, here's a sample of the curriculum. On the left-hand side is a student guide. On the right, a teacher guide for the same activity. All of the curriculum and learning materials and tools, we owe a big thank you to the folks at UC Berkeley, Education Development Center, Vanderbilt University, and more. Let us act, my India. Accelerate computational thinking for marginalized youth in India. We are a group of IIT Bombay alumni. Thank you for watching. Contact us at the emails below for more information. We would love to work together.